Hi everybody, so it's Angela back again with another reading, this time for the new moon in Sagittarius, which is happening approximately just after 7:30 GMT timing tomorrow morning. So I hope you're doing really well. It is the end of the week. I'm recording this on Friday the 3rd of December, and I'm hoping this won't be such a long video because I understand that not everybody has the opportunity to watch longer videos, so I'm just going to cover a lot of the energies around Sagittarius. So we're in eclipse season now, so eclipses bring in long lasting change and results, so be careful what you wish for, guys. So it is a new moon. Many of us that are working with metaphysics, we naturally work with the moon cycles, with our own bodies, with our decision-making processes, and how actually we live. We ebb and flow with the energy of life, with the cycles and with nature, the natural laws of nature. The way that we were born to live, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. So this eclipse it's a new moon's always a new cycle. Full moons are always closing out cycles. So the areas for Sagittarius, it's ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and expansion and upliftment. It is also linked to the 9th house in astrology, which is to do with foreign lands, foreign people, higher learning and guidance, also with teaching and philosophy as well, which is quite interesting. I forgot to mention that on my last video, and I meant to say that. So if we look at the areas for Saggie, it's the quest for truth, it's peace of mind, it's travel, freedom, adventure. It's very adventure loving, very spontaneous. The 9th house rules legal issues, whether that be attorneys, lawsuits. We don't really say attorneys in the UK, it's more lawyers. Ethics, morality, conscience and court proceedings. It's to do with faith, friendliness, good luck and spirit, mentors, colleges and universities. It's philosophy, seeking answers and finding solutions. It's about connections to nature, direct communication. So this would be being quite frank. It's frankness and honesty. It's prayer for higher guidance. It's overcoming excesses and ways where we might be overdoing it. And it's also to do with clearing. So the shadow side of Sagittarius would be taking shortcuts, self-righteousness, making assumptions, excess, being blunt, and a Pollyanna approach. So if it's not going my way, all hell breaks loose. The area of the body, or the areas of the body that are linked to Sagittarius, are the hips, liver, sciatica, so that's where we have trapped nerve pain, thighs and upper legs. So attributes to develop with Sagittarius. So this is, say, more for people that have a destiny node in Sagittarius. They'd be working with uncovering hidden gifts and talents, such as their reliance on intuition, prophetic abilities and invisible guidance, speaking from higher consciousness, spontaneity and developing a sense of freedom and adventure, direct communication free from censorship, trusting oneself, spending time alone and in nature, not being afraid to be alone, patience, intuitive listening, hearing the meaning behind the words. Now, it's really interesting because if you look at some of these subject areas, you will notice that these are really playing out on the world stage at the moment, especially when it comes to faith and optimism. I mean, if we don't, and finding solutions right now for what's going on in the world. And if we look at this freedom and the quest for truth, and also when it comes to being able to speak honestly with direct communication without censorship, these are areas that are really being challenged in our world right now, and we cannot go into denial about this any longer. We also, I understand we all need to have our days, our duvet days, but the days of pulling the duvet over our heads and pretending that these things don't exist, they're not going to go away. And it's just a tip here, guys, not to trigger or upset anybody, but anybody that will speak the truth will trigger somebody at some point, and that is not my intention, but truth will trigger you at some point in your own life to wake you up from something that maybe you don't want to see, you don't want to deal with it. But actually, the sooner that you look at it and you deal with it, the lesser the issue becomes. If you think about Saggie, it's about finding solution. We all know this, don't we? And I'm going to say this in a very frank way. I'm going to work with the energies of Sagittarius in this reading as well, is that the longer that we try to bury things, it will persist, and it will just fester, and it will rot, and it will become something very toxic. So a big theme this year has been about pulling out these toxic weeds and the shadow energies of the world. And yes, I understand a lot of people are tired and they're fed up of hearing this message, but it will go away when you wake up. Personally, I don't fear this kind of element of life because I'm not afraid with my own shadow. I've faced it. I fully embrace it, actually. But I'm a Scorpio rising, and Scorpios tend to they get to a point in their life where they stop caring what people think about them in their shadow. But also ultimately it sets you free, which is what Sagittarius energy is. It gives you peace of mind. It will, Saggie is the master of intuition. It's the spiritual teacher on fire. Sagittarius is a fire energy, so it can burn away all the BS and set you free, but you have to be willing to face it. Right, a little sip of water there. So let's begin now, and then I'll start telling you what cards I'm going to be using. So just going to start with a tuning fork, just to bring in the energies and the vibration of love all around us. So just settle us in for this reading, to bring in the calmness, the sharp precision type communication from spirit, bringing confirmation, bringing clarity, bringing in messages the way that spirit can only deliver to support us on our life here on earth. And the intention is that anybody from any background, any belief system can listen to this message and take something from it to support them and aid them in their healing on their path. So cards I'm using, I've brought the good old Isis Oracle, haven't used those for a while. I'm also going to use the Creativity Oracle, the Sacred Geometry deck, and the Priestess of Light. I was actually going to use the Mythic Oracle, and then it was like, no, that isn't going to work. And I asked Spirit, do you want to do 2 piles, one for the eclipse and one for Saggie? And they were like, no, what's the point? At the end of the day, eclipses last up to 6 months. So whatever you manifest, guys, on this eclipse, the effects will last for over 6 months is what I would say. It could be that the changes might come in over 6 months. It's going to be different for everybody. So we're going to call in the energies of Isis now to bring in your X-ray vision of light, of inner sight, and of wisdom. Right, so 2 cards have come out together, which is the Rising Sun, the Divine Solar Child Reborn, and the Pillar of Light. And this says on it, Descent of the Star of Isis. So, I mean, look, Isis is the master of rebirth. She is very scorpionic, she's very transformative. So I'm going to pull out whatever messages. So they're saying go with the Rising Sun first, because this is what's coming. So these are collective energies for us all. Right, I just need to find this in the book. These cards are by Alana Fairchild. She makes the most incredible cards. She's such a wise one. Her energy is very wise. I find that these cards have a very, very strong healing effect. When you work with the incantations and the rituals with the cards, they actually really work. They shift energy really quickly and very strongly. So her cards are not for the faint-hearted, that is what I would say. I could actually find this card of the rising sun. Says it all, doesn't it, guys? And I'm trying to look for it and it's not straight away. Right. Maybe that's got to be around here. Here we are. Right. So, so this is a dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light and triumph. It is won through boldness, persistence. Even when you felt like giving up, you chose to stay strong, to surrender to the divine and to continue with the path. You have been through much and now victory is upon you, beloved. For the divine solar child, a new consciousness within you is born. Says here, during times of despair and struggle, we come back to our hearts, searching for faith within, searching for signs to support us as we take the long journey down the spiritual birth canal into love in even greater expression. It might take us weeks, months, or many, many years to birth ourselves over and over again into more of our divine essence. Some birthing processes that are deeply profound will feel as though they take most, if not all, of our lifetime on this planet. At another level, many lifetimes will constitute one birth process. So what I am actually getting with this card is not literally the meaning in the card. What I'm actually getting with this is that situations in our world are now they're actually working at waking people up, but we cannot physically see it. But a lot of people are going down this birth canal right now and it's not particularly easy for them. And what I want to say to you is I really want to reassure you that you're doing the right thing, because what happens is when we are going through the birth, and this is a spiritual birth process, so this is like a consciousness within you being born. So old belief sets and programming don't make any sense anymore. And what happens is the world around you cannot make sense anymore to you, because it might mean that the rebirth has happened within you first, and then your external circumstances change afterwards. So I want to reassure anybody that thinks they're having that moment of doubt, and they're reminding me that the doubt card came out in the December reading, is that while you're going down the birth canal, the spiritual birth canal, it's completely natural to feel like this. And this is a card of more reassurance, but also that when these things are happening, they don't make sense. It's like that moment of the ring of fire when the baby's about to be pushed out and the person doesn't think they've got the energy, the strength to do it, and then something, nature, takes over. If it's trusted, if the person can trust to just go with it. Somebody once said to me, they went into they didn't suppress their pain or push against it, they went into it, and actually what happened was a massive letting go process. And I feel like there's a message here of, with letting go, like it's always the day before the new moon is always pretty full on when it comes to not feeling great. You always feel slightly low before the new moon pops, but also eclipses are very, very strong energy, guys. So it's important that you're aware of that, and to not take that personally. That we all get affected on some level. So if you're feeling particularly tired around this time, take that rest, let the birth process happen. Now the Pillar of Light, which is another card, let's have a look at this. Pillar of Light comes before the Pyramid of Light. God, there's Portal of Light, there's Pyramid of Light, now we're at the Pillar of Light. Right, okay, so this card is about beings of light and divinity are calling you now. They wish to connect with you more strongly. So this is about strengthening your energy field to allow more light to flow through your body safely and into expression. And actually what Spirit is saying, I'm just going to get my charger at the side here, guys, while I continue to talk, is that it's really important to remember that when it comes to spiritual agility and flexibility. Sometimes we need to put more light into the physical vessel. But also, what's going on in our world right now requires us to really, really fill up the tank with light. So if you're feeling tired and you want to put your head underneath the duvet and everything's feeling too much, certainly go ahead and do it. But don't forget to either do an exercise or a meditation where you just allow light into your cells. Now, in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment, the last few days where I am, well, actually yesterday we had some light, so I went out and I made sure I got as much light as I could. But I think we forget this time of year for us. In the Southern Hemisphere, this will be a little bit different for you. But maybe you've not had light even down there. You've been indoors, you've been working a lot, you might have been working nights, you might not be in a room where you work where there is natural sunlight. Is try and get some light into your physical vessel at this time, because I'm going to say this, is the world needs more light right now at the moment. And the world needs the light workers this is our time now to be sending light out into the world and not to be shying away from this role. And the thing is, a great way that you can channel, as one of my friends said to me recently, when some people get triggered, they internalize it and they don't process it. She actually uses it as a source of energy to work at her goal. And I thought that is such a great use of a challenging situation. It's quite inspiring. But a lot of the time people just want to moan and groan and they want to say, well, the world's this and this is not happening. But you have to participate. You can't just sit back and pray to spirit and think spirit are going to fix everything. That's just not how it works. And people don't want to hear this with spiritual healing and teaching. They just want the solution. They don't want to, as my friend said, who's a medium today, she said to me, Ange, they don't want to do the work. And when I say work, it's not slogging away. It's just going in and facing everything. But it's also not shying away from everything. It's not hiding away. So, because then what happens is we start to see life as everything being a struggle, when actually it doesn't have to be. You can still thrive and live a full life, even in this crazy world that we live in. But you have to fill up this tank, this pillar of light. And your pillar of light, your pillar is if you think your column of light that connects all your chakra system together, this is your pillar of light in your body. So if you think like, for this pillar of light card, if you think like a broadband connection into your home, you have to have the right equipment, don't you, that can handle the speed of the connection that has to run through those cables. So if you put these very old cables that cannot run at that high speed, either the connection is just not going to work, or it might become overloaded. And a bit like an electrics box, by the way, guys, I'm saying just this like metaphorically. It's like a broadband cable. You need to strengthen it so that you can receive the energy transmissions into your being much more easily. It's like trying to run a high voltage electricity through wires that were not equipped to handle it. Either there'd be fire and damage, or the practice would not be safe and sensible. That's what this card is like here. And I think what Spirit are just saying is that there is a lot of fire that is available to us in this eclipse, but also fire, watch for the element of fire playing out in our world as well, because it's burning away the old, it's birthing the new. So the sun, as much as it's rising up, it's burning away things that don't make any sense. And what I will say to you is that old systems are holding on for dear life. So the way that you can navigate this world to help yourself the best way that you can is by not giving your power away, is by following your intuition and your truth, and doing that with grace and love for yourself first and for your fellow human being. Right, so that's our message from Isis. Thank you so much. Right, so now I'm going to do a Sacred Geometry Oracle deck card. I'm going to ask them, right, so this is for the new moon eclipse, please, Spirit, in Saggie tomorrow. What do you want to share with us? Transmutation, wow. Okay. Wise Friend, Labyrinth, and Heptagon. Right, so I'm going to read these out. So these cards are very specific. So what I'm going to do with them is I am not going to, well, actually, right, okay, I'm just going to go with what I'm getting. Right. So, this is a card of clearing, transmutation. So, I mean, look at the colours in that card. It's absolutely beautiful. And I love this about the sacred geometry cards, which are, again, there is a healing built into these cards, which it's like it connects you into your cosmic roots. So let's just, right, okay. So I feel like Wise Friend is convening with the trees. So, you know what, people might laugh at tree huggers, but I'm telling you something, they were onto it years before everybody else was. I always find you can get messages from trees, from nature. But also, if you are really struggling with feeling ungrounded, or actually things like I found when I felt a bit vertigo, now this is obviously, it's not medical advice, is I just go and I stand next to a tree and I just put my back in alignment with that, you know, the whole part of the tree, and it just automatically grounds me really strongly. The Labyrinth card is showing me here that there's loads of different journeys to the same destination, but what you choose is up to you. So there's like all these different ways that we can go into the labyrinth, but ultimately we're going to all end at the same destination at some place. And, you know, some people are going to take longer to see the truth of what's really going on in the world. Other people have got it, but they're not choosing to participate. And then other people have got it and they're feeling frustrated because they feel like they are a bit alone in this journey. But what I've learned from anything is what Spirit have always taught me, which is to align with people that will support me no matter how crazy I might sound at the moment. And actually I was talking to my friend about this today, where we both went through a major legal course in our lives, and which was so taxing, it really pushed us to the edge, and we're both incredibly strong people. But actually what we both said was there was something stronger than our physicality that was pushing us through it. And it was this quest for the truth. And I had people say to me, you know, just let it go. It's affecting your health. It's this and that. And I sat with this and I thought, right, okay, is this about me letting it go? And what I got when I tuned in was that it was about being able to sleep at night and have peace of mind about doing something for the greater good, not for my own ends. So actually you're taking on, I think what the energy is that you're taking on the energy of an establishment against you. So it's like what they're saying to me, it's the journey of David and Goliath, which we all know, and who, I wouldn't say won, but to not think that one person against an establishment can't win, because I certainly did. But it took a lot out of me. But what I will say to you is, I mean, if somebody could have maybe given me this, I learned the ways not to do it by doing it the way that I did. So I've got no regrets. But my understanding of that journey was that if I hadn't gone through that very painful experience, it wouldn't have really helped me to understand the true power of what we have spiritually. So what I want to say is, with the labyrinth, there are so many different ways to your dreams, and none of them are wrong, because you can go from this angle, you can go from that angle, but a big part of this is being grounded, clearing and transmutation. But also the heptagon card is interesting, because I feel like on this one, it's like, I feel like this symbolizes the tree of, not the tree of life, but it reminds me of the tree of life symbol. But above this is showing that all the symbols go into one. So this symbol and this symbol actually all get intersected into the two circles. And actually, it's to include everything. So this is a card of coming together, but it's also about understanding that everything that you're doing, even if it doesn't make logical sense at the moment, is going to bring you to this place within your labyrinth, which is your goal. Right, so the transmutation card. So dynamic change. So this is about space and power, time transmutated by consciousness. Represented are energies, forms, fire and lightning, nuclear and solar, all active and dynamic, but transmutating form to something new. So they're saying this change is beyond what you have experienced before and promises to transmutate the very core of your being into someone you might not recognize from your present perspective. So it's a bit like what I was saying, you know, when you're going through something and you just think, oh my God, like, when will this ever end? This is really pushing me to my hilt. You can't really see the end destination, can you? Like the labyrinth, you're going round and you're like, oh my God, I'm still not in the center. But actually, when you're in that spiral, you're actually in the midst of the change. So as in the Hopi tradition, as a river on which one can travel forward and backward, it becomes clear that any event has more than one possible outcome. So that's amazing. That's linked to the labyrinth card as well. Quantum physics tells us that the observer affects the outcome of the experiment. So true. Metaphysical thought further suggests that by our intentions we create our own future. All views indicate that we as individuals have an effect on the holographic nature of reality. Once you realise and learn to utilise this function of intention, but also you have responsibility for not only the consequences of your behaviour, but also the consequences of your thoughts. Know you are a very powerful being of intention. Pay attention to your thoughts and transmutate the ones that trouble you or cause fear. What Spirit's saying is just offer them up to the light. By transmutating fear, we are helping to usher in unity consciousness, heart connection and compassion. So this is what Spirit is saying, you know, we can do for ourselves right now. So I think the wise one, for me, it's like, trees are the ancient wisdom keepers. They really are. They hold within their bark and branch vast libraries of knowledge, history and earth mysteries. Look at that card, it's gorgeous. They are fully willing to make these accessible to anyone who makes an effort to tune into their language. When you approach a master teacher or revered elder, it is customary to offer prayers or pay tribute. The old ones love such acknowledgement and they respond to your recognition of their wisdom by expanding their energy fields and offering shelter. As you sit in this presence, open your inner knowing to a place of receptivity, relax, breathe in a slow, rhythmic manner and listen. Messages may come in a whisper or an exclamation. You may receive words or likely some simple knowing will occur. Trees are renowned poets and givers of riddles, so don't expect exact answers. Cultivate a relationship with a tree near your home, one you can visit often. Let your experience with these wise friends guide you in learning the language of trees. Once you learn this connection, you may find trees talking to you everywhere you go. So I feel like that's the aid. We'll put these all together anyway. And then the labyrinth. Let's have a look at this. The spiritual path. So this is an ancient design found in most cultures, and they date back more than 4,000 years. Labyrinths have probably always been used as spiritual tools. And they only have one avenue. Its geometry combines the circle and spiral into a purposeful, meandering path. The way in is the way out. There are no blind alleys. A profound tool for meditation, the labyrinth is a metaphor for your spiritual path. Also a feminist Christian icon, the labyrinth embodies inspiration and represents the hero or heroine's journey. Experiencing a labyrinth induces heightened awareness and can serve as a psychological and spiritual tool for self-exploration. Approach this card as you might walk a physical labyrinth. From a passive receptive mindset, allow activation of your intuition and inner knowing. As you view this card in relationship to your inquiry, open to any messages you may receive and feel how your emotions respond to these insights. Move from your outward point of inquiry to the place of inner knowing. Sit in your sacred centre, giving thanks for the gifts you have received, and then move forward where this guidance can become your truth. And then lastly, we've got the heptagon, which is harmony. How great is this? So this is a 7-sided polygon of veneration. It represents movement through cycles, 7 days a week, 7 chakras, 7 rainbow rays, 7 planets, 7 seas, 7 musical notes, and 7 stages of transformation. 7 weaves its way through mythology as Athena used the 7-sided symbol to weave her magical exploits. Sound and music are intimately connected to sacred geometry, and the number 7, and through the harmonies created by music, we are able to connect with the music of the spheres. This card sees that you are looking for harmony in the cycles of your life. Each action you take creates harmony or discord. Each decision adds to the music you create and the joy and growth you experience. Finding harmony in family, job, and spiritual life adds to the richness of your time in the physical world. Your days are a progression of harmonious movements through time. How might you add even more to the harmony of what you experience or share with others? Allow your existence to become a symphony in celebration of the beauty of living. So I feel like what Spirit is saying here is that, so transmutating is always about, so this is the dynamic change card. So we are going through times of dynamic change, and it's important to look for the solutions, but the solutions won't be found outside of ourselves. What these cards are saying is that the solutions are, and I'm going to say this, they're only through our inner wisdom. So the wise friend is showing up to show us the wisdom of convening with nature, to go back to the ancient truth, okay? To tap into the laws of nature. The labyrinth is showing us that there's more than one outcome, but this is like saying it's up to us. It's about creating harmony on the earth, and this is ultimately what we're all trying to achieve, isn't it? Because the transmutation, the dynamic change card, the outcome it could possibly lead to is unity, consciousness, but we can't do this if we aren't willing to consult the wise counsel of our higher selves, our soul. And I'm going to say this because I'm getting this from these cards, which is that I feel that a lot of people have lost their way. They've lost contact with their intuition. They have become very ungrounded and disconnected by fear and trauma. And I'm not blaming anybody, guys. I'm not saying this is wrong or anything. I'm doing this, I do all my readings with neutrality. I always ask Spirit to come in and give me whatever needs to come through. And so obviously this is not a message for everybody, but there's a lot of people who have lost connection with who they are, with their higher selves, what they're here to do. And we're entering now into eclipse season. So they're saying that this message is the start of eclipse season. So we're entering into a period of dynamic change where this is like a message of hope, but it's also a message of guidance, of illumination to help you on the path. The labyrinth is your spiritual path. Your spiritual path will always guide you to harmony and balance, because that is the spiritual law of nature. So Mother Earth will always try to balance. It's not personal when it comes to what's going on out there. Mother Earth is not like, she's not like ignoring us, and she's not like not giving a crap about us. It's actually the other way around. A lot of people are not caring about Mother Earth. So what Mother Earth will just do is she will just balance herself. And I think this is the energy of fire, and we're going to see this come up to clear the air as well. And actually, you know, fire is such a good cleanser, such a good cleanser. So it might mean that you want to work with the energy of fire. You might want to work with candlelight energy as well. So you might want to work with light in that respect. I'm just going to ask the Priestess of Light around these cards. Anything you'd like to clarify with these cards for us, please, Spirit? As always, the Priestess of Light, she will take her time with these cards. Clarity card has come out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saying 2 more cards. They want the power of 7, so they want 7 Priestess of Light cards. Open connections. Well, we've got 8, so those 2 come together. Right, okay, so what we've got here on the bottom of the card, so this is the grounding messages of this whole reading. So clarity, planning and releasing illusion. They've been talking about this. This came out in the last reading I did for December. Circle of eternal joy, timelessness in the dance of life. I'm sure that came out as well, but I could be wrong. And then River of Blessings, releasing constraints. That came out before, I'm sure it did, guys. So these are more of on the earth level, so physicality of what we see on daily life. So Spirit are not going to back down with this. What they're saying is that we can't dance with joy in life until we acknowledge that we are free sovereign beings, and we release the illusions around agreeing to constraints, okay, which is going on with our society. I mean, Sagittarius is the freedom, the adventurer, the seeker. It's about it's about our ability to travel to different heights and see new sights. Around this we've got healing earth, which is the power to give and receive healing, which is what we all need right now. We all need it. I'm really feeling it as well. But what Spirit said to me is they said, just surround yourself with people that you know can let you be you. Because a lot of teachers at the moment are just holding space, but they can't do it alone. We all need support, guys. So we all need to join together now, and we need to strengthen this grid of light around the earth to support and to garner up freedom for everyone wherever in the world, because this is the undercurrent underneath everything that restricts us in life, whether this is discrimination of any kind, poverty, restriction. And I think this is why the message about tune up your body, tune up your physical body with light, your spiritual bodies, which I might just do at the end if I've got time to do on this video. I might just do a little invocation to put light in with the pillar of light. because I think we all need it right now. Yeah, Wings of Light's come out becoming something new. But to do that, we need juice in the tank, guys. But that juice is not fuel. When you think about fuel as in food or water, this is light. This is our light body. This is our spiritual body. This is our soul. It's about being fully activated now. Bright heart light, because this is what it's going to provide us with, these open connections. And actually, this is, I'm just going to share these things with you because I think it might help people. As I'm learning just like you, and I do get despondent sometimes because I think, well, is anybody like listening, or is anybody like, does anybody feel the same way? Because I don't, because I know it's just not me. I know it's not my ego, because I want the best for other people that I don't even know. I've got such a connection to wanting to bring in this unity consciousness. But what I've realised is that what Spirit have shown me this week is that the people that I've got around me want the same. They really want the same. And actually there are parts of your journey. So when you're on this spirit walk, this vision quest walk, which is the shamanic journey, you might call it, again, all the vocabulary and the language we use, you make it what it means to you. It's important that we're allowed to do that, and that we have, I don't want to call it support, we have like soul sisters and soul brothers and soul family that just are with us along the journey, and they don't ignore us. They just listen and they're there for us, but they also support our quest just like we would do for them. And this is what all this light and energy and expansion's coming in. And I mean, Sagittarius is such a beautiful energy to work with. Wisdom, learning, joy, art and music. So these connections that we are going to, if we work with bringing more light into the physical vessel, we don't only improve our connections in a way that they are much more intimately genuine and deeper and meaningful, but they're also much more lighter and brighter and more fun. And actually interesting to say that, because the opening heart card is there, which is deep connections and water blessings. So there's a real huge opportunity with this new moon. What Spirit is saying to me is, how many people manifest for the consciousness, or just is it just a manifestation of things on your list? We can always, as part of our manifestation, now is the time where we can use our powers to help heal the world, because it really needs it right now. Look, recharges on the top. When the pace of life becomes too hectic, know to slow down, be mindful and go with the flow. Okay, and then what's on this side? Obstacles. Right, okay, so let's have a look what they've pulled out. Success, enjoying your life and the unfolding of your creative abilities as much as possible is real success. I also want to say there, if anybody's struggling to let go of a failure, celebrate that too, because when it's not for you, it's actually protecting you. Because what it actually means energetically is something better is on its way, but maybe you can't yet see it. But usually it's like, I was offered a job and I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then another job came in and I realised that if I'd said yes to that first job, if it worked out, I would have been quite miserable in it. You must start from where you are, examine your situation and take a chance, so a leap of faith. So there's a dynamic change being available to you, and this is, I've got to say guys, I feel like this reading is very on a spiritual level. So this is a chance to really upgrade and really connect in with yourself on a very, very deep level. This is about connecting into your higher consciousness. And actually, this is the secret to where your harmony lies. in your life. Because once you connect in with your higher self and you form a relationship with it, I can honestly say that I don't think it ever disappears. I could be wrong there, but I'm just going to put that out there. I mean, I don't know about you, what you think, but once I developed a connection with my higher self, I just welcomed it into my life, and then that was it then. But then what it means is when you very much, you know, your higher self is connected to your soul light, and we've all got it, but a lot of people aren't connected to it, and I'm not judging them in any shape or form. They just don't have an awareness of what that can help them with, you know, inner sight, the clairs, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience. You know, there's loads of different ways where your higher self works with you. But once you build that connection with it and relationship, you can't go back into denial. You can't go back to sleep. So it's like you wake up because you've connected with your higher self. Let's put it that way. So then you can't really shut it down because it's too uncomfortable. It's like you would have to either, and I'm going to say this and it might come out wrong, so my apology in advance, but it's almost like you'd have to really knock yourself out. You'd have to use such avoidance techniques, because it's such a strong feeling that once you open up and you connect to it, you know, it's a powerful force. It brings this in. It releases the illusion. And as you go in your labyrinth and you walk within your labyrinth, it could be seen as you get tested along the way more and more and more. But what actually that is, it's an affirmation of your spiritual strength. The lessons and the learning come in to tell you that you're ready. You're ready to do this. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to do, if you want to join me in just a little process here with this pillar of light energy, I'm just going to see actually whether this is going to have a look in the book. No, I'm not going to bother. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to listen to my higher self now. Right, so all I want you to do is I'm just going to prong my tuning fork 3 times, and on each sound I just want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. In through the nose, out through the mouth, whatever you want to breathe, however you want to do it, you just do what works for you. So here goes. I just want you to continue with your breathing now. The tuning fork, just bringing in this confirmation that it's time to go within. Just for a short time. Just for a short recharge and tune up. So just see yourself having roots on the soles of your feet, going deep, deep down into Mother Earth, to the hot core of Mother Earth, into her womb. And even if you can't see, just intend or imagine, or just set the intention for yourself, and so it is. And as you close your eyes, just follow my voice and the gentle, relaxing music in the background. If you hear any external noises, as you follow your breath, just know there is an intention to bring you into a stronger state and place of presence with each sound. Let the natural flow of your breath bring you into your center, into your being. with each breath. Feel yourself relaxing, even sensing tightness in your body. Maybe a state of frustration or thoughts running, just let it all happen. This is all part of the process of going within, is accepting oneself in this moment as it is. It's never about perfection, it's always about learning and progress, and no judgment for yourself or for your fellow human beings. And just following my voice, following your breath, feeling yourself go into a more relaxed state, naturally and organically. And now seeing a golden ball of light appear in front of you, growing and growing, larger and larger on each breath, until this beautiful bright golden light just engulfs you, encapsulates you. Illuminating your body, your physicality. And this golden light has a divine intelligence of its own to permeate all your cells, all your muscles, your tissues, your organs, to infuse them with this beautiful light, this calming golden light. Allow it to come in and fill you up. And allow this ball of light now to move over to the top of your head on your crown chakra. And feeling all this light just flood all around your aura now. Building and building and growing, centimetre, inch by inch outside of your body. And as it does, it's permeating every cell, every fibre of your being, clearing away, relaxing you, energizing you, transmutating you, and reforming you back into your light, your brightness, your power, your truth, your clarity, illuminating everything that you wish to see, higher guidance, higher knowing, trust. And now see this ball of light move back down just to below your feet now, illuminating your Earth Star Chakra to ground you fully into Mother Earth, to your path. To have the confidence and the courage to walk your path with truth, with knowingness, with trust, with faith, with optimism, and with peace of mind. And this light permeates everything, even your blood, every organ, every hair, every cell, every tissue, every molecule of your being, inside and outside of your body. Just allow yourself to sit with this light. Even if you don't feel it or see it, doesn't matter, it can still happen. Just all about having the intention of your thoughts, using the energy of your inner sight, of your third eye, cleaning out your chakra system, illuminating for the next 6 months ahead. And now the ball of light moves up in front of you and separates into 2 small balls, which are now placed into the palms of your hands. And the light just seems to naturally disappear into your hands, activating the energy of healing for you to share with others, to spread your love and your light. You put your hands together and you rub them to feel and generate the energy of this heat. And you place this over your face, allowing your face to bathe in this energy. Placing your hands now on your heart to activate the power of forgiveness, the power to receive and to give love in all its forms. And so it is. Just using another prong with a tuning fork. And as I do, you're just finding yourself coming back into the room. Just moving your fingers and your toes, touching your knees, touching your arms, giving yourself a big hug. We all need a big hug right now. We've all been missing physical contact and hugs from many people that we'd normally hug. Just giving yourself a hug. Okay, guys. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. I don't know about you, but I really needed that light injection. And look, we can always take 2 or 3 minutes, what was that, maybe 5 minutes, to just take this time out and to recharge. We're much more useful to ourselves and to our path, and we're more likely to bring in this dynamic change if we are in tune with ourselves and our bodies, and we can't be when we are depleted, not only in other means, but with light. We have to remember that things on our earth right now are not necessarily increasing our light, they're depleting it. So it's so important that we stick together, that we support each other, that we stand up, that we use our voices, that we use our light for good. We are all here for a reason right now, guys. We're really here for a reason. We're to birth something new. We're here to birth something new, so let's have a look. Intuition, visualize, let go, indecision, and time. Okay. Let go of what's standing in your way. You'll know when it's the right time to make a decision. You'll know the right time. That's what those 2 cards are about there. Again, it's all about your intuition. You see, the power of Sagittarius, guys, is it trusts, it intuitively listens, it's receptive to signs, it's receptive to the understanding that Spirit will send the signs and the guidance, and it hears the meaning behind the words. Yeah. So I'm going to love you and leave you that way. Have an amazing, beautiful new moon in Sagittarius. I'm going to leave you with Bodhisattva. I never say that word right, apologies, but Buddha, the female Buddha. And I'm going to wish you a really beautiful weekend, guys. And yeah, I'm certainly going to be manifesting not just for myself but for the world moving forward, and maybe that is something to think about. You know, one thing on the manifestation list about the world, Mother Earth needs our help. Our Earth needs light putting in the energy Earth grid. So I'm just going to say this, it's up to you what you do, but if you feel guided to do this over the weekend, it will be a very powerful exercise. And actually, what it also does is it taps you into this energy for yourself as well. So it's like a win-win situation. Obviously, I understand sometimes the light workers have to hand the baton to other people. And I've just tried to stay grounded through these times, but I understand, like, some teachers, they need to take the time off. I've needed to do it as well. I've noticed some people are not on YouTube for months, and I understand that. I've had to do that myself on occasions. But if and when you feel guided naturally, please do put light into the energy grid, especially of the earth in general. Just see all the light, you know, however you want to do it. I've got my crystal grid here, and I'm sending light to Ireland because I think there's a lot that needs to be done around these so-called laws and restrictions that they're bringing in. And I'm sending light, but I'm also vocally supporting people as well, because there's nothing really that frightens me anymore. I've come across these forces of so-called power, and actually the only way that they stay in power is if people are kept in fear. So actually, if you learn to utilize your energy powerfully, it's fabulous, because it's a win-win situation for everybody, most entirely for yourself as well. So the longer that we stay in fear and we give in to fear, and I know it's hard sometimes, I do know it's hard, but make sure you're connected to people in your life that you can call on for support when you're feeling that fear. Or you just need to talk it out with them, because it's really important that we all have support, you know, and we support each other in making sure that it's equality, unity consciousness. So I'm sending you all my love and lots of light to you, and I hope that this weekend there's illumination in your light in every way. Take good care of yourselves. I'll be back soon. Bye.